Riley will toss out what he so much has so far this year. And right now you'll see Patty Burns in the back. Did get injured last game. He is going to play. And we're underway now here at Alumni Stadium. DePaul will try and push it down. And this is a DePaul team, like we talked about off in the open, Sam, that hasn't let up a goal. And it's a lot of experience on that back line that has allowed that to happen.
Yeah, and part of leading the charge is Gandhi Cruz. He's just been absolutely dominant all season long, has not allowed up a goal for a reason, and has improved every single step of the way.
Cruz getting in on the action there as reigning Big East goalie of the week last week. He'll get his first opportunity in the back. He'll launch it away. Try and push it downfield. Burns loses it there for a second. Ramsey picks it up. Intercepted and trying to be challenged on the far side. Around as once again you'll continue. Send it back. Back Richards on the back line. Quinn working up. Ramadan possessing. Mistimed pass. So was trying to get in on it. Coming and changing fields. Brickman there.
I'm just loving what we're seeing so far. Both teams are really keeping the ball away from each other.
So right now you'll see a foul call go in the Blue Demons' favor. Referee will call it. Sorry, Gonda, the junior, really that focal point Coach Plotkin talked to us about trying to get it in as that one goes all right, and Notre Dame will take the throw in on the near side.
And yeah, just you're seeing the tempo of the game so far. When you refer back to the Seattle opener game at Alumni Stadium, Notre Dame really had their foot on the gas. And once again, the same strategy applies when we sat down with head coach Chad Riley. He spoke about how he needed to put the pedal to the metal, especially against a goalkeeper like Gandhi Cruz, Notre Dame trying to get something going early on.
Yeah, and he really spoke about trying to get chances. That's what you're just going to need to do. Keep putting up chances. Keep sending balls up as Ento will now work it down on the near side of the field. He'll try and move it around, and he does get by Feuder. Tries to send it into the box, and it's rejected, and Feuder will now go chasing. However, stays Notre Dame's way and pushing up.
And Ento has been absolutely insane for the Fighting Irish this season. It's currently a sophomore among the sophomore group of individuals who have really come alive for the Fighting Irish so far this season. He made his collegiate debut last year against Indiana and has never looked back since then.
Kennenbacher throws it into the near side. And now it's cleared away. However, Notre Dame playing up. Ramsey trying to kick it forward. Burns will get a head on it and batted the other way as the ball is lodged in the midfield. Cruz will scoop it up. Right now, this is a Blue Demons team that returns a decent amount of experience. Return 18 letter winners from 2021, and this is a team, when talking to Coach Plotkin, says that's really what this team has liked, and the fact that they have experience and that they have guys that are coming back for another year, and they're able to increase on it as Cruz kicks it out of bounds, and Kennenbacher calling for it quickly and trying to push up tempo.
And you mentioned it very well, Jacob, about how they're starting to get this sort of formula format with this DePaul team. They're really starting to come into their own now. They're not at that veteran presence yet with all the upperclassmen on the team. However, they have a couple of guys who have been here.
Ento working through, and it's blocked and kicked away. Now trying to push upfield. Gonda possessing, getting it stolen away. Now back to Ramsey in the center back. A sophomore that has so much experience, played a lot last year, was a key starter in that center back role. It's cleared away, and Cruz will pick it up.
And yeah, just going back to about the the DePaul Blue Demons. This is, when we sat down with head coach Mark Plotkin, he also said that this is the most well-equipped team that he's ever had to coach so far this season through his tenure, and it's showing right now on the field.
This is a team that he feels has the possibility to make the NCAA tournament, and he said that's ultimately one of the goals for this year for this team. Coming down and pushing it forward was Rousseau from the ground. Now working to the center. Dowd will come out, and he'll pick it up for the first time and get into the action. Brian Dowd, the junior from Willow Springs, Illinois.
Brian Dowd, a part of that historic run last season that saw Notre Dame secure the ACC championship title, was also named to the ACC all-tournament team, came in as the starting role his sophomore season, and has not looked back since then. He's been dominant for the Irish, really keeping that goal protected, and he is one of the guys who everyone looks to on this team.
Yeah, and right now was the ACC preseason watch list candidate in the goal. The ACC published to begin this season, and so far has put up a strong contest. However, Notre Dame's only played 2 games. They played their home opener on Seattle to open the season, then ultimately went to Michigan State, and then they had their game get postponed on Saturday against Indiana. And this is a team that likes to see the clear skies out right now. They've faced 6 weather delays so far in this young season, and they're just excited to go on as scheduled tonight.
Yeah, and that's something, too, that head coach Chad Riley spoke to us about, just getting that nice weather and keeping that tempo. Wants to see how they're going to come out so far. They've been playing extremely well after not playing against Indiana this weekend, and they're continuing to go.
Feuder kicks it back to the back line, and Brookman. Now we'll switch fields to Herbeck. With Gonda back, and we'll try and push forward with Huth. Making room up front to Hagan. Hagan will take a shot, and it goes wide. It's a team that seeing a little bit of Blue Demons offense coming out of it from a team that's necessarily has seen a lot more defense than offense so far.
Yeah, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far from DePaul. They know that Notre Dame is dangerous in the transition, so they're hungry in the box as well. They're trying to put everything they can on the side of Notre Dame's field and keep Gandhi Cruz from having to step up and prevent saves.
Kicking it away. Dowd. Back behind, headed away. Now Notre Dame intercepting. Midway point. Continuing, the ball really hasn't necessarily left midfield all that much so far. That one's going to get tried and chipped down. Ramsey there to head it away. Foul will be called against the Blue Demons as Reese Mayer goes down. Now Ento trying to work and use his speed in an effective manner. It went out of bounds, calls the line judge.
And Ento getting involved early on, putting the aggression on the DePaul side of the field, and you can see it so far.
Jake Feuder, quality defender for this team that continues to show up and show out on this strong back line. Switching fields, Ramsey will get the throw in from Genenbacher. Push over to Burns. Williams, the transfer from Seton Hall, will kick it forward. However, is intercepted by Hagan, and he's great one-on-one. It's what Coach Plotkin told us yesterday, and Cade Hagan from Chicago, the sophomore. And he knows Notre Dame a little bit, transferred in from Pitt. Notre Dame saw and ended their home streak back in the ACC tournament last year.
And when you think of rivalries all season long, Pitt-Notre Dame is going to be something that you want to highlight your calendar with. Last season, Notre Dame takes them down, wins the ACC tournament against Duke, and for all season long, it was close, contested games.
Burns intercepting, Mayer chipping it down, trying to look. Over once again, the Blue Demons. What appears to be a mental error to now set up Notre Dame for a corner kick for their first set-piece opportunity in this one.
And Notre Dame is a team that has struggled on the corner kick so far this season, including last season as well. 64th overall when it comes down to corner kicks. Have not scored a goal yet this season off the corner. They are looking to change that tonight. We will see what they're able to accomplish.
Notre Dame will set into the box. Far side, headed away. Ento will chase. Our will be a goal kick for Gandhi Cruz as Notre Dame couldn't corral it.
I'm just very excited to see what Gandhi Cruz is going to do against this team. Head coach Chad Riley spoke to us and said that he wants to put the pressure on Gandhi Cruz. Gandhi Cruz, however, has stepped up whenever his name was called, as evidenced by the 7 saves against Bowling Green on August 26th, and he has not allowed a goal so far this season. Matthew Rue and Daniel Russo leading that charge, and Eno Ento as well, trying to get into the head of Gandhi Cruz. Will they be able to accomplish it? We have a whole rest of the match to find out.
Brian Dowd has to come out. As you saw, Huth able to try and challenge it there. Notre Dame keeping it into their back line. Brian Dowd hasn't necessarily punted it away yet in this one. And Bacher back to Williams. Williams was someone Chad Riley talked really highly of in the fact of he brought so much experience to the back line, and he's just a guy that really has found a way as a grad transfer to gel with his team. That one will be pushed down, however, called offsides against Notre Dame.
Yeah, and he also spoke so highly of Mo Williams that you would think that he's been with the team all season long, even through the pandemic season, where head coach Chad Riley refers to as what really gelled this team together. Mo Williams has been fantastic. All the guys love him, and you can tell that he's made an impact on the field so far.
An impact, and took summer classes, so got to know the team right off the bat. Burris pushes it down the Notre Dame side of the field. We'll switch with Feuder, the defender, up. Now pass back to Herbeck. Breckman continuing to look around. Breckman getting challenged. And Cruz will send it away back into the midfield. Burns heading it.
And it's great to see Patty Burns back on the field. Game time decision going in. However, he is back tonight and is already being well in the middle of the match.
Oh, Williams sliding out for that one to stop the advancement. Get Notre Dame to be back in possession. Pushing it downfield, however, too far. And so far in this one, it's been a little kickball action between both sides, sending it down to each other's boxes. Brian Dowd, Cruz using their big legs to push it down, but ultimately the stout defenders on both back lines have been able to clear it effectively. That one goes out of bounds, and it will retain for DePaul.
And we knew coming into this game that both DePaul and Notre Dame were going to have a strong defensive battle. For as great as on defense DePaul has been, they have not been able to kickstart their offense. Head coach Mark Plotkin saying how they need to finish in the final third, but the ball has been in the middle of the field the entire time.
Ball chipped away. Federer will have to kick it back as Eno Ento showing off his speed there. Federer now will kick it. Kennenbacher is there. Continuing, Hagen, Kennenbacher working, and that's a matchup that Plotkin likes. He understands it. He wants Hagen to have those one-on-one contests, since he's necessarily, under Coach Plotkin's eyes, one of the best one-on-one midfielders the team puts out there.
And he's someone who's also as well going to be able to kickstart this offense for the Blue Demons.
Back on the near side, Huth. Intercepted by Bonneau, and it'll go Notre Dame's way. And take a look at Mark Plotkin, enters his 5th season with the Blue Demons, the former standout with DePaul himself, graduating back in 2010, and before this was with Colgate as an associate head coach, and so far has been a great addition to the team. And has allowed it to sink in, and now getting to his program. That 5th year you always like to look at, see now these are the kids he recruited. This is his team that he went out for and got and sold his idea with.
Yeah, and Coach Plotkin is also someone that head coach Chad Riley spoke very highly about, was very impressed by his intelligence when it comes to the game of soccer, was going to do his own thing.
And Oento on the near side inside the box. He'll send it across, however, in front of it. And now you'll go to the other side, and Chad Riley, both coaches have great admiration for each other on the side of the bench. Chad Riley also entering his 5th season. And so far since getting to Notre Dame has been really continuing to get his team to the top of the caliber.
And you think about the leadership that Chad Riley and the dedication he brings to this team, was able to guide Notre Dame to its first ever ACC championship win and go to the semifinals in the College Cup. There's a lot to look forward to if you're a fan of the Fighting Irish, and head coach Chad Riley is leading the way.
And Oento possesses, sends the Fighting Irish on the offensive. Working down the near side will be Rue, trying to cross it over, but intercepted by Brickman. Brickman blocked. Ento will force a Notre Dame corner kick for their 2nd of the contest.
And Eno Ento has just been absolutely everywhere on DePaul's side of the field. And you could look in the corner every single time. You're going to see Eno Ento. He is making his voice, or he's making himself well known tonight and having his presence felt so far.
Yeah, Eno Ento, if I told you back when he was around 14 years old, was the 200-meter track and field Derbyshire County title winner. He's got some good speed for him. Has that great acceleration that you look for. Ram looks. Will fire it in. Go DePaul's way after a foul in the box. Have the referee call over Reese Mayer to have a conversation about what he did. They'll stop the clock.
Very interested to see exactly what it was that Reese Mayer did in order to have the ref talk to him. Reese Mayer, the senior out of Baltimore, Maryland, has been on a defensive force for the Fighting Irish, helped guide them along those lines when they went on that tournament run in the ACC where they did not allow a goal over 4 games. Reese Mayer is going to walk back to the middle of the field right now.
That referee just talking to him there. No cards assessed, just a conversation between both parties. Cruz will kick it inside the box. Gonda tried to turn it. Now you'll see Notre Dame and Rousseau go on the offensive. He still possesses it from the grass. Was able to go out for, however, they'll call the foul back previously. They'll place the ball back. Referee getting in on the action here. And this one will move up Notre Dame's defenders and bring up Josh Ramsey to try and set Notre Dame for a free kick opportunity into the box. Ramsey will launch it in, headed it away by the Blue Demons. Working up to Gonda. Kicked it away by Bonneau.
Josh Ramsey, another defensive force for the Fighting Irish. ACC all-freshman team alongside Matthew Rue, and has helped this Notre Dame team so far keep the ball on the side of DePaul's field. However, they need to get something going if they're going to want to win this match.
Ento tried to cross it, but now Notre Dame still keeping it. Ento looking forward. However, stepping in front will be Will Stroud on the far side to kick it out of bounds and allow Blue Demons to now try and congregate into the box to add some numbers. Will Stroud, one of those guys that transferred from Colgate after graduating, and this guy Mark Plotkin recruited at Colgate and came with them to DePaul and understands Plotkin's vision as a coach. Ramsey possesses in midfield, working it down to the far side. Burns will be there. He'll send one across. Cruz will go back near the post, however, skirts it by and out of bounds.
Looks like the leg is perfectly fine for Patty Burns as he bombs that over the back of the net.
Patty Burns from Northern Ireland. It's been a key part of the defense for the Fighting Irish in this season as kick it away, coming in, pushing forward. Into trying to challenge, will stay Notre Dame's way. Right now, after you saw DePaul open this game, it's now somewhat gone Notre Dame's way at the moment.
And that just speaks to the goal of this game for the Fighting Irish. They need to put the pressure on Gandhi Cruz if they're going to win this match. They don't want a repeat of what happened in Seattle where they had all the pressure going in the first half and then fell off in the second half. They need to score goals.
Blocked it away, and DePaul will go chasing for it. It will stay Notre Dame's way. Kate Hagan again. That fielder that's been everywhere. Guy that came in and, however, knew the team pretty much. He was able to play club soccer with the majority of them since this team has 18 guys from Illinois in DePaul, and they recruit heavy in-state. DePaul's in Chicago. That one's out of bounds.
You always hear teams say, we like our guys, but then DePaul really likes their guys with 18 recruits from Illinois.
That one a foul, far side. Gandhi Cruz now set to take it. Pushing forward, Paul will possess. Into the near side, out of bounds.
Just very interested in the tempo of this game so far right now. Neither team has really attempted a shot except for the Notre Dame's one attempted shot where it went over the back of the net. I'm just very curious about how this game is really going to play out. We're really seeing a fantastic defensive battle against both sides.
Parkman trying to push it up to his midfielders. Ramadan dropping back. It's a midfield heavy formation for the Blue Demons. Feuder, the defender on the near side, up by the midfield, kicks it back to Brookman. Herbeck will now possess, and Herbeck is someone that Coach Plotkin said saves the team because of his defensive prowess, that he just continues to be a saver on that back line and almost a sweeper position for this team as Huth comes back and receives it, and he's got room to run. Kicking it up and forward as Feuder tried to run it down, but just too far out of his reach. Annenbacher will look to try and throw it in. Sophomore again. This back line on the near side defense. Appeared in 23 games last year. Got 2 starts, but really this year has been a pillar. Radavoysha trying to challenge in the midfield. Ramadan kicking it back to Cruz. Almost intercepted. And will stay Notre Dame's way. And Olento will allow Gennenbacher to come up.
And I just love how Notre Dame is going at DePaul and challenging them, and vice versa as well. DePaul mentioning how head coach Mark Plotkin mentioning how they are not worrying about the name on the Notre Dame jersey. They are going full force so far, and it has been a true defensive matchup.
Gennenbacher throwing it into the box, however, cleared away. Feuder continuing to fight on Gennenbacher. Ento tried to turn around on it, but went out of bounds.
So close right there to keeping that ball in play. Ento flying around the field, just unable to get that off right there.
Bacher kicking it up and out of play. Fitterer continuing to throw it in on the near side. Fitterer will throw it in and again, and Coach Plotkin expressed just they were excited for Fitterer versus Ento on the near side matchup. He's kicked it down looking.
Beautiful ball right there.
Kicked it away and high. Over the crossbar and wide. They're going to call for something. Take a look at it.
You're going to see number 26, Jack Richards, go, and he might have come a little too close to Brian Dowd right there. That was a beautifully placed ball. He goes for the kick. Dowd comes out, and it goes right into Dowd.
Jack Richards, the captain for the Blue Demons, a leader on the field, and someone that Plotkin says does everything the right way. Dad will kick it away.
KK Baffler just enters the game now for the Fighting Irish, replacing number 11, Daniel Russo. Before is
Baffler now coming into it and will try and get in on the action early. Can be challenged, working around, trying to turn on it. However, DePaul will able to gain possession. Once again, broken up by Bryce Bonneau. Bonneau light tap to Ento, intercepted by Fitterer. And off Ento, go Blue Demons' way.
And before, another track star, former track star that is now on this Notre Dame Fighting Irish team. He's been great so far for the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, foul called, allowing the DePaul Blue Demons to get a free kick opportunity. Merrick Gonda looked to be shaken up there after the collision. Back pushing it down. Kicking before. Chris Mayer pulling it back. Huth possessing. Cruz will now get a kick back from Herbeck. On the other side. Fitterer continuing to possess it, and so far in this one, Sam, both teams have liked the near side of the field.
Yeah, and it's been a really close matchup up and down the line of the field. You're really seeing a lot out of number 9, Marek Gonda for DePaul, as well as Ento, number 9. So it has been a battle of the nines, but both different matchups so far. However, I'm really liking what we're seeing so far.
And you'll get Wyatt Borso, the freshman, has come in and has played quality minutes so far in each and every game for the Fighting Irish. Come in and get fresh legs onto this team. Huth will now control it, wait for numbers. Mo Williams intercepts. Hagen's now going to kick and wait for numbers, tries to chip it down. Collision on the far side. I'll go a foul after they'll say Gonda push down Ramsey.
And that's nice work by number 18, Josh Ramsey, for the Fighting Irish, putting his body on the line to get the ball away from the Blue Demons.
Far side of the field, possessed and kicked back to Burns. See Ramsey was last year named a top drawer soccer freshman best 11 first teamer. He's a starter from almost game 1 for the Fighting Irish last season and stayed there throughout their elongated postseason run. Kicking it back to Ramsey. Now pushing up onto the far side. The defender getting in on it, sending it down the line. Burns will now try and turn it and send it in for an opportunity. However, slid away, and Notre Dame will get another corner kick opportunity.
Patty Burns, the former walk-on for the Fighting Irish, has been an absolute unit for Notre Dame since coming and playing on the defensive side of the ball. Has scored a couple of goals as well, can do everything for this team, is really looked upon as a leader, was ACC Defensive Player of the Week last year. He's everything you could have asked for, and nothing but great words out of head coach Chad Riley's mouth about him.
KK before sends it away, but cleared. Stays Notre Dame's way. Reese Mayer will come over to take the throw in, and Mayer really essentially one of those holding midfielders that stays back a little bit for the team and it's provided some necessary defending when the teams needed it most. Stays Notre Dame's way. Mayer will just take a couple steps forward to throw it in again. And
you're really seeing DePaul corner Notre Dame to the sideline, not letting them get anything in the middle of the field. It has worked so far with only one shot attempt by the Fighting Irish.
Sends it in. Working it away, kicked it away. Out of the near side. Will bounce out of play. Gennenbacher come on over to throw it in. And this is a Notre Dame team who has 12 players who have recorded a point through the season, have either been a freshman or a sophomore. It's a young team, but has some strong experience due to how far they went last year. And Chad Riley wasn't afraid to use freshmen last year.
Yeah, and they're the number 3 freshman class this year, but when you think about the sophomore council, that's really made up of Eno Ento, Matthew Rue, and Josh Ramsey. They have been great for this team, and when you bring in that third class, it's very impressive with this youth movement that Notre Dame is trying to create.
So trying to put one on net there. Couldn't get it done. Cruz will launch it away. Side Anderson trying to switch fields down off to Hagan. Anderson will get in on the action again, sending it up to Huth. Mo Williams intercepts. Sending it in crossing field to Burns. KK before. Kick it out of bounds. Go DePaul away.
And just when you also think about how young this team is, 10 players so far out of the 16 who have seen the field and seen action have been sophomores or freshmen. So when you bring in a guy like Mo Williams, who is a grad transfer student from Seton Hall, he provides that wisdom and knowledge to this young team so that they can only get better.
Let's see Sebastian Green, a freshman, check in and sub in. Backing, switching field will be Herbeck. Continuing, try and work the wings of the field. Mayer is set to throw it in again.
And Sebastian Green coming into this game, another freshman for the Fighting Irish. Currently Notre Dame has 4 freshmen in the top 100 ranked that they were able to bring in for this year and helped put them at the number 3 freshman class this season.
Sebastian Green trying to work it around Stroud. Continuing the challenge, kicks back off to Mayer. KK before, and now get into the box. Sending it in and across. Howard headed it away, and Huth will be there to try and chip it forward. Sending it up to Gonda. He stumbles, and Burns will able to pick it up and possess to allow Notre Dame to try and send it back. Ramsey launching it near side of the field. Kept inbounds. All right, no one's there to receive the header. Feeder up to Huth. Near side. Go back. Trying to work it by Mayer, and he'll kick it out of bounds and off over the fencing. Get a fresh ball in.
And once again, you're barely seeing any play in the middle of the field. Everything so far through this match has been sideline to sideline. A true defensive statement from both teams. Neither team has given up so far. And for the shots that have been attempted, it's it has been very far out for either side.
Nicholas Lendrady comes in for Notre Dame. Off to the backside, Cruz will possess. Try and set up, and DePaul picked to finish 9th in the preseason poll in the Big East, and they go up against a tough conference right now in the Big East, at great soccer conference, with Cruz picking it up, the attempt there. And we'll stand around the semicircle looking to see where he wants to potentially kick it. Send it down to the near side of the field. Headed away, Feuder will go back. Trying to chip it down. Passed on the near side. Switching fields with Herbeck in control. Now we'll go Notre Dame's way after the foul.
And when you think about the teams that DePaul has to go up against this year in the Big East, they have Seton Hall, they have Providence, they have Georgetown, they have St. John's, Xavier, Marquette, and Connecticut, Creighton, Villanova. That is a very tough schedule for DePaul. Really trying to get something going right now. So far, starting off their season 2-0-1.
Yeah, really how the Big East is set up. They're going to go play all of their non-conference games before they get into that tough schedule, as Notre Dame's going to be called offsides there. And that's the reason why you're going to see DePaul be on the road for 5 games, essentially. One of these games, and then they have those pseudo away games. They stay in the city of Chicago. They'll go play Loyola Chicago this week, and then they'll play UIC as well. So staying in the city, however, not necessarily back in your home complex.
And 5 home road games is a lot, especially in between all these matches that they've had to play so far. You're at Oakland, which is back in Illinois, and then you're at Notre Dame, which is currently in Indiana, and you're back to Chicago. And it is a lot for a team, and this is like where the team will start to build its identity and how to form a lot better.
Yeah, and Coach Plotkin said to us he liked away games a little bit more than anything else because he can control the flow of the game. He was a little worried as athletes were going to go sit in student-athlete orientation because DePaul hasn't necessarily started classes yet. They start tomorrow because they're on the quarter system like Northwestern does. And so they had student-athlete orientation today, so they were going to be sitting in chairs. Then they were going to take the bus ride here. So we wanted to make sure they were stretching, making sure they were getting up, working around. The road schedule is tough, but Coach Plotkin likes it in the fact that they can focus on one thing and they can focus on soccer.
And just also, too, when you come in and you play a team like Notre Dame, who is number 22 in the nation, these are quality opponents that DePaul is facing early on. They face number 25 Bowling Green, so they're going to have some experience before they get into these conference matches.
And that's exactly what Coach Plotkin said to us in the fact of he wanted to allow his schedule to be tough so that he could make themselves a case to get into the NCAA tournament, as DePaul will now try and push their way down the field. Try and open up an opportunity as we're under 8 minutes till halftime. Call it out of bounds. Notre Dame's bench helping them a little bit. See, switching fields back to Genenbacher. Feuder thought about it, had an opportunity, just was one step away from it. Bacher sending it to the center back, Ramsey. Ramsey also an ACC all-freshman team recipient. Notre Dame will be called offsides for the 3rd time today. Send it back, Wyatt Borso, the freshman, getting in on it. Tried to push them downfield, but the line judge was right there to make the call. Victor Cruz will now come up out of the post. Try and allow strong boot from the sophomore goalie to open up an opportunity on Notre Dame's side of the field. KK before challenging in the midfield. Lost, brought it away, kicked down before chipping it over the back. Herbeck is there, though. Feuder will bring it to the near side and try and flirt it down the line. Getting in on the near side is Moore, the freshman.
And that's fantastic work right there by Mo Williams against the freshman, number 14, Will Stroud. Just able to box him out, have that ball roll out of bounds, get the ball back to Brian Dowd, and reset the field.
So far in this one, hasn't been too much offense. 2 shots apiece. Notre Dame's called offsides again. Right now you're seeing Wyatt Bourseau just take a couple extra steps, maybe too far behind a DePaul defender. Cruz again will come out to kick it. Headed away by Gennebacher, goes out of bounds. Blue Demons will retain possession.
And that's beautiful work by Gennebacher to track that ball down, use his head, knock it out of bounds, and continue the play with 5 minutes remaining in this match in the first half.
Before challenging. Marking on the far side. We'll switch into the middle of the field. Working back. Off to Ramadan. Feuder. Working back to Brickman and Cruz. And so far, offense hasn't necessarily gotten out and running between both teams. We knew coming into it, 2 strong defense-oriented teams. Both of them still looking for a little bit of offense. We're trying to really find their offense, find who their focal points will be to really produce.
And I just think that speaks volume about both defenses, and you're really seeing it from both sides, having both opponents trapped on the sideline. Haven't really seen too much play in the middle of the field so far. It has been a defensive matchup.
Or this isn't something unaccustomed to Notre Dame. Normally, whenever they've found themselves in these tight contests early in games, and then the second half is normally where they tend to turn it on a little bit. Onto the far side, DePaul will try and make some offensive magic. Body checked, and it'll be a goal kick for down.
Speaking of which, too, the Irish only have 1 shot attempt so far. This is a way different tone than we were here last time at Alumni Stadium against Seattle, where they had over double digits in the first half.
Now Dowd back. Landing into the midfield. Out on there. Go DePaul's way. Got a free kick opportunity around midfield with now just over 3 minutes. Have the potential to try and spark something with Omar Ramadan, the junior from Huntley, Illinois, kicking it. I'll look and set up. Brickman, the lone defender, back. Working into the near side of the field. Feuder will go chasing for it, but goes Notre Dame's way. Now under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Skied up ahead. Bourseau there. Notre Dame trying to take the methodical approach down the field, using the sideline in their favor. Now Gennebacher up. However, throwing it back to Mo Williams to maybe potentially change fields, which they do. Kick it before. Far sides, Burns there. Working in. Trying to do something.
I'm very interested to see in these next 2 minutes remaining in the first half how Notre Dame is going to switch up this tempo. They've only had 1 shot on the attempt against Gandhi Cruz, and they need to put the pressure if they need to score goals, especially against when you have a goalkeeper like Gandhi Cruz who really locks down in the second half.
DePaul, after a little bit of a roughhousing in on that one. Bryce Bonneau allowing Brookman to set up for the free kick opportunity.
Bryce Bonneau, another sophomore, was injured last season, however has come back for Notre Dame and has started to really get going with the team.
Headed away, now under 1 minute remaining in the half. Feuder playing up. DePaul looking for an opportunity to round out this half and bring momentum into the locker rooms. Feuder taking his time. Notre Dame crashing in on the near sideline. KK before, taking a shot way outside the box. Cruz will scoop it up. Now under 30 seconds.
And it looks like before, when he shot that ball, was looking for a call, may have got tripped from behind, does not get the call, and the match continues on.
Now under 20 seconds to play. As we saw in the open, only takes around 5 to get one off.
10, 9, 8, 7,
Intercepted by Notre Dame, kicking it forward.
3,
Now under 5.
1.
And we'll go into halftime with 2 zeros on the board for both teams. Sam, what'd you see so far in that one?
I've just seen a defensive battle on both sides. So that's really much all there is to it. Nothing really in the middle of the field. It has been sideline to sideline on the side of the field. Very curious to see how Notre Dame is going to come out into the second half.
We're not at 0. We'll take a break for halftime and come back with hot first half highlights, stats, and get ready for game action. Stay with us right here on the ACC Network Extra. Acting those college teams, and Mark Plotkin and DePaul able to take part in that as we're ready and underway for the second half of this one. Between the Blue Demons and the Fighting Irish, Notre Dame trying to put the pedal on the gas here a little bit. Teams switch sides. Notre Dame will go from right to left. DePaul going left to right with Cruz back in the net. We saw back in 2019, Sam, just a game that was decided in the final 5 seconds. If the first half's any indication, that's what we're gearing up towards in this one.
You took the words right out of my mouth. We have not seen anything at all occur over the course of this match so far. However, I'm curious to see how Notre Dame picks up this tempo, as head coach Chad Riley put it. He needs to see guys like Rue and Russo get involved. Ento has been getting involved. KK before has already hit shot on target towards the goal, unable to accomplish anything. Can Notre Dame get back into the middle of the field is going to be the question of this half.
Yeah, DePaul hasn't even put a shot on goal yet for the most part through that first half of play through 45 minutes. Dame looking to try and turn on the offensive gas in this one. Switching off to the far side of the field. Kicking it back, Williams sending to Ramsey. Now will come and switch over to the far side of the field to Genenbacher. Light tap, and Ento will now try and go down. Ball stays in on the far side. Ento will cross it in. Cruz taking it and scooping it up.
And another shot by Ento, but Cruz is there to say absolutely not, and the ball goes back.
As a player will be down for Notre Dame on the far side of the field. Athletic training staff will come over to talk to him.
And that's number 21, Matthew Rue, the former ACC All-Freshman last season. One of the names we mentioned who is starting to get going, currently leads Notre Dame in shots on goal, or shots on target, excuse me. But it looks like he's fine.
Have a primetime matchup between Virginia and Virginia Tech. And an in-state matchup in primetime on the 9th at 8 p.m. on the ACC Network. So those two teams will face off in a top, really strong ACC conference that continues to dominate right now. And Notre Dame will play them down the road in the ACC. Our big one on the 9th on the ACC Network at 8 p.m. Dame possessing and working down with Rousseau getting it intercepted. Radovosha was there, but gets it intercepted as well. Come to the near side, switching sides. Ploth will be there. Now going to try and work it around. Does a little spin move. Pushing downfield, working in. Far side. Shot. Dowd blocks it. Loose. Opportunity. DePaul gets on the board first. Huth is there to take the rebound and send it into the back of the net. DePaul goes in 3 minutes into the second half and gets goal.
It looks like Dowd is calling a ref to come over. When he went down, the dirt slips, but we see right here, this is nice work to set up the shot. Number 19 comes right in, Huth, and scores for the Fighting Irish. Nice work right there to take opportunity of that. You see Patty Burns right there alongside, but Huth is able to capitalize on it after Dowd stops it and slides in the mud, and DePaul gets on the board.
Jacob Huth gets his first goal of the season in the 78th minute of this contest, now putting Notre Dame behind in the second half. Now this game just got a whole lot different. Both teams controlling in the midfield. Now Notre Dame needs to try and tie it back up. Off to the far side. Gannenbacher will fight off, and they'll try and push down the far side of the field. Sending it into the box near side. Headed away and up into the netting. With Reese Mayer there.
And that goal, going back to that goal earlier from Huth, this really does change the tempo of the game. We saw it, nothing really came over the middle of the field, but you saw it, as soon as something came over, it changed the whole course of the game. Dowd making that stop, one of the best preseason ACC watch list of 4 goalies this year. Did everything you need a goalie to do, just took the unfortunate bounce, and Huth came in and scored the goal.
Rousseau there, trying to do a little footwork, but unable to do it. Huth there with DePaul pushing again to the far side. Intercepted. Notre Dame trying to move. Now you're going to see a little more up-tempo so far from Notre Dame at the moment. Roux going down, looking for the call, but they'll play on. And Oento working in, crossed in the box, no call. Ball still in play. Near side, kicked back to Burns. Burns will send it into the box. Headed and up over by the crossbar.
And Notre Dame is starting to pick up this tempo. We're seeing them go at Cruz a lot more. They just have not been able to put it in towards the goal. Everything has been above, or it's been on the outside, a little off distance.
Cruz once again, like we've touched upon earlier, Cruz hasn't let up a goal yet so far in this season through DePaul's 3 games. Tied 1 and has won the rest. They're undefeated still. So we'll go DePaul's way, and they'll set up for a free kick opportunity after the foul. I'll move quickly, switching fields.
And you're starting to see it. Notre Dame is putting on this pressure. However, head coach Mark Plotkin, said that they have to be willing to defend against high-quality opponents.
And Dowd able to scoop it up. A DePaul player onto the, and it's Futerer off, still struggling. He's off the field of play. So the game will continue to play on. The referee will stop and will go assess Futerer as he's down in pain.
That does not look good. Futerer looks like he slipped, and then he got back up and then fell right back down again, holding that left ankle, trying to put some pressure on his leg.
Futerer will
be able to get up.
Will be up and moving around. Takes a shot there. Dowd was able, but appears he may have just slipped on the turf going in and slid away. However, gingerly does a little movement. Be a throw-in from Will Stroud. DePaul will just courtesy gesture and send it back to Dowd. Notre Dame will try and tie it back up at 1.
Gladfruiter is okay. However, that was nice work by Brian Dowd on the defensive side to block that goal.
Challenged by Rousseau. Kicked it away. Stays Notre Dame's way. Notre Dame knocking on the door here with Genenbacher. Strong throw into the box. Mayer kicked it away and cleared. Ramsey will send it back with Rousseau on, but kicked it away again. Gonda trying to possess. Referee will call back the throw. I think he was a little too far out in front of it. Make sure it's at the correct positioning.
Josh Ramsey on the throw-in right there. Very rarely do you see throw-ins get called back, especially when you get to the collegiate and professional levels of soccer, but that's going to get thrown back in.
Genenbacher there to serve that one in. Chipped it away. Ento bodied. That'll be a free kick opportunity for Notre Dame. Matthew Brickman in on it with Michael Anderson trying to plead his case. Now Notre Dame looking for a set piece opportunity. Cruz will position his wall with Hagan and Huth out. Rousseau there to kick. Notre Dame brought up everybody with only Ramsey and Dowd back. So far kick near side. Williams was in on it. Punched out. DePaul attempting to clear, and they do.
And that was fantastic work by Gandhi Cruz to punch that ball out of the way, get it over to one of the DePaul Blue Demons, and put it back into play.
Just showing you how far he has come. Take another look at it. Just punching it away and makes his presence known, splitting between Mo Williams and DePaul Blue Demons defender. Huth again, kicks it back. Looking to Anderson. Now switching fields to the far side. Now going to try and center up. Kick looked onto the far side. Just too far.
And you could see that right there. Number 28, Diego Benitez, was just there, but a couple more inches away from the top of the head of his teammate. So close. Almost had another goal.
Almost did, as DePaul will have a free kick opportunity. Corner kick, excuse me. Feuderer back to kick it. Feuderer will set up. Light kick in front of the box. Kicked away. Intercepted by Rousseau. Now pushed up front. DePaul keeping on the gas. As the sun starts to set in South Bend, Indiana, the Knights illuminate the field.
And that was an interesting decision by DePaul on the corner kick, who had 0 in the first half, to kind of not go directly into the crowd of people and try to hope that you throw up a 50-50, as you may want to put it, but instead opted to do that, but the ball goes back to their side of the field.
Marking it around, Hagan bodying up. Burns stepping forward, headed it away by Aru. Ramsey coming forward. Now looking to set it up. Kicked out of bounds.
That looked like to be a miscommunication between Reese Mayer and his teammates. Ball goes out of bounds and goes back to DePaul.
Booth trying to gain it there, but kicked it away by Mayer. Mayer heading, pushing down to Rue. Rue will center it up. Working it between the wickets. Williams stepping up for the header. Out to the far side, Gondo will be there. Gondo working with Ramsey on a one-on-one. Gondo continuing to press Ramsey. Ramsey turning fields and kicking it away. Burns kicking it out and keeping it in front. Radovoshan as a whistle will be blown. A yellow card will be assessed.
And that yellow card right there was about as clear as day on number 8, Julian Saldana for DePaul. Grabs the jersey of the other number 8, Matthew Radovosha, and that will get called every single time.
Referee was sure to break it up there as he writes it down into his little notebook to make sure it's official in this one. Now giving Notre Dame an opportunity to have a set piece into the box. He'll have to come off the field, Saldana does, because he got assessed with the yellow card.
First yellow card of the game called.
Ramadan will come in for Saldana. Notre Dame sending it across and in. Cruz is there. And using all 6 feet to keep it above the heads of the forwards.
And I just love that play right there by Gandhi Cruz. Just goes up and gets it, comes down, knows that he's able to take it away from anyone. Fantastic work.
Near side of the field. Burns possesses. Switching for Mo Williams. Genenbacher trying to work it through. Kicking it back to the grad transfer from Seton Hall. Ramsey working up, switching fields and looking. Right now, so far, Sam, saw a pretty lackadaisical game between both teams in the first half. But ever since we've came back here in the second half, it's been all gas on both sides.
Yeah, and both coaches, when we sat down with them, spoke about how they needed to put the gas. We didn't see that. Maybe it's just because both teams are trying to figure out each other defensively, see what their tactics are, where they're going to. However, it's been full switch. They've turned it full throttle to start the second half.
And whatever move DePaul made with Coach Plotkin, the half worked after DePaul was able to score a Huth goal the 78th minute. They'll work again, trying to cross far and out of bounds. Giving Dowd goal kick. Future quality defender. Finding his way maybe a little up on the goal side.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, making sure he's getting in on the action too. See Wyatt Orso come in for the Fighting Irish and get some fresh legs.
To give credit, though, DePaul's defense has been playing astronomical. They've been fantastic. And, you know, this just goes back to them having defense as their #1 priority. Head coach Mark Plotkin could not stress that enough when we sat down with him. Needed to put defense, and they also knew that this is a high-quality opponent. Notre Dame semifinals in the semifinals in the College Cup. This is a high-quality opponent that DePaul is facing, and they're not afraid. They have not shied away from going at them.
And Coach Plotkin But asking and say, Coach, are you a defensive team? And he just said first priority is defending, like you touched upon, as they get an offensive chance here to maybe work it around. Out of the far side, DePaul will wait for numbers. Notre Dame crashing into the box to try and stop another one from getting this one out of their hands. To the near side. Switching around, ball still in play. Stroud there, working it, turning in it. Cleared away. Anderson will be there to try and keep the pressure on for the Blue Demons. Turning, blocked, kicked it around. Paul possessing and trying to keep it on, but Coach Plotkin said, you can get all this defense. Doesn't require talent to be good defenders. Just you need to put your work in for it. I think that was just really shocked everybody in our conversation with him. Just like, it's so true, but no one really thinks about it. And the fact that it doesn't take some talent, but you just got to have the mindset to go in and defend.
And you know, there is always that saying in all of sports, offense wins games, defense wins championships. And if you're going to build a team, as Coach Plotkin wants to this season, that's going to compete for a championship, you need to start with your defense and have that be your number one priority.
So far, has not let up a goal so far through their 3 games. So far in this one, continuing that trend. Notre Dame trails DePaul 1-0 right here on the ACC Network Extra. Sam Ohaj, Jacob Irons here in South Bend, Indiana, bringing you this midweek non-conference matchup. 2 teams that faced off back in 2019 and been on a hiatus due to COVID, but reignite the rivalry between these 2 teams. Ramadan switching. Booth pushing it back to his experienced back line. Now work on the far side. Blue Demons trying to send it across. Gondo was there if the header could get through. Hagen working on it. Hagen battling Ginnenbacher. And goes Notre Dame's way on the throw-in.
Nice work by the former ACC all-freshman player Josh Ramsey to get in on the DePaul player and really defend and get that ball out of bounds and give it back to Notre Dame.
KK, before we'll come in as a sub for the Fighting Irish to get some fresh legs on the attacking front. Switching sides of the field. Burns open with room to run. Passes it back to Ramsey. Now I'll go back to the far side. Williams going to work it up over to Mayer. Mayer going to try and kick it around and pushes it forward. Turning on it. Got an opportunity. Notre Dame Cruz let it around. Too hard of a kick from Sebastian Green.
Wow. Wow. Number 24, Sebastian Green, so close after having the shot set up for him. Just put too much power into it. You're going to see it goes off of Cruz's foot, and it just, he's so close. Off number 27, Wyatt Borso. All he needs to do is just kick it, and then it looks like number 14 on DePaul. Will Stroud actually was able to get a knee in there, but still so close.
KK before with the corner kick. Gets it cleared away by the Blue Demons. Ramsey back. Chip shot. I had to go down to the far side. Sebastian Green, the freshman from Monterey, California, is a high school All-American last year as that one glides by the front of the goal. Far side chip shot, kick K before. As Stroud kicks it out of bounds. And almost a mental error there, allowing Notre Dame to get another corner kick to send KK before back to kick another one.
Stroud still down on the field. Looks like, I'm curious, the trainer's coming out right now to sit down with Stroud. see what's wrong. Could be cramping, but he gets right back up on his feet.
Is pointing to the knee area. The athletic trainer coming out. He'll have to come off here. We'll get a sub for the Blue Demons to come in a crucial point.
DePaul substitution number 15, Christian Malinek, replacing 14, Will Stroud.
Christian Malinek will come in for this one to come in and defend the near post. KK before back. Both teams ready and waiting for Stroud to walk off the field entirely, and here we go. Out in front of the net. Pushed it away. Feuder will challenge Genenbacher on the far side. Genenbacher kicking it back. Brought in and centered. The Blue Demons are able to possess it and clear it out down around the midfield.
And you just got to keep giving credit to this Blue Demon defense. I mean, all season long so far, through their 3 matches where they currently stand 2-0-1, they've tied with 25 Bowling Green. They beat Bucknell 2-0, and they beat Oakland 1-0. So the offense isn't necessarily what's winning them these games. It's this defense that has really taken another level to their match, or to their entire season so far.
Ritter out, challenged on the far side. Notre Dame will now try and run. Gondo, the offensive focal point of this Blue Demons team, loses it. Now retains it. Arcing around. Rue's able to win it. Rue switching back around the semicircle. Pushing to Borso. Borso working around in circles, looking for another Irishman. Bryce Bonneau is able to retain, keep it after the fight again with Gonda.
Notre Dame starting to put more tempo in. 25 minutes left in this match.
Kyle Genenbacher, the strong throw-in player, will send it in, off ahead and into Cruz's gloves. Continuing to put on a showing in the net, especially in this second half. KK before. Bodied. Rue will now start to make a run. Switching fields is Williams. Genenbacher to before. To Bonneau. Pushing forward, he's got a little bit of wiggle room.
That was awesome work right there by Bonneau. Just lets the ball, he lets his defender go a little bit ahead of him. He stops and is able to get Notre Dame in the corner for another corner kick.
KK before, back again to have another opportunity on a set piece. Notre Dame looking for one to try and tie it back up at 1. Side, just barely going by the post. Patty Burns had an opportunity just mere inches away.
And that, I feel, has kind of been a little bit of a reoccurring thing for Notre Dame so far in this game. Patty Burns off his head, just misses it. You see Gandhi Cruz throw up his arms because he knew that if Burns had just a little bit more of an inch, that's a goal.
Patty Burns, someone that had a question mark next to his name coming into this one, whether he would play after an injury up at Michigan State, but I have to imagine the extra day of rest since they didn't play against Indiana on Saturday due to rain. That one was postponed. They're trying to fit that one back into the schedule. Helped him be able to play today. Notre Dame's needed him so far, has been such a key opponent in the midfield. Far side, Gennebacher dropping back. The big boot, trying to push it down to KK before. Now the referee on the far side of the field, all the way on the other half, send it back for a free kick opportunity after a foul. Now with Josh Ramsey, the sophomore, switch fields. He's got an Iowa cornfield to try and move.
DePaul isn't letting anything up right now into the middle of the field. Fantastic work.
King down, chipped it around. DePaul will get a set piece with Ramadan and Huth back for the free kick.
And that's called on Mitch Ferguson, the freshman defender out of Glen Carbon, Illinois. Among one of the 4 freshmen that came in to Notre Dame in the top 100 rankings.
On the far side, Bryce Bonneau has an opportunity and he's taking it. He's got Grass kicking off to KK before. Working back to Bonneau. Bonneau trying to work in on the far wing. It'll be a foul, and he points inside the box. We'll stop the clock. Penalty kick should ensue next.
And that's a huge call in this game inside of the box on Bonneau. They're going to call it on number 7, Jake Fruderer. They're all looking for it, and they're saying no. They're trying to plead their case, but they call it right there, and now it is a free kick.
Patty Burns will take the PK. The junior from Northern Ireland trying to tie this one up at 1. Cruz has not let up a goal all year long. The sophomore goalie trying to continue the trend. However, he has Burns and a PK in front of him. Burns bakes it off the post and it doesn't go in. Notre Dame with an opportunity pushes it too far left. However, Notre Dame still possesses and continues to keep the gas on. Turning around on it and glides it by, and Cruz continues, signaling to his back line, we're okay, as Burns finds the post.
You're going to see this. Oh, so close again. Patty Burns has come close to striking gold twice right there and just unable to accomplish it. Hits off the post, and it goes back out.
He had it right. Cruz guessed right. Patty Burns went left, but just too far, hitting the post. Now Notre Dame needs to continue on with under 20 minutes to play in this one.
And for DePaul, the freshman Sam Moore, who scored a goal last week against Oakland, enters the game now to try to put a little bit more on the offensive side of DePaul.
Pushing it off. DePaul get the opportunity. Now this one's just becoming physical between the two teams.
The tempo has definitely picked up in terms of physicality so far, Jacob. And I think a lot of it has to do with Notre Dame being frustrated. They play against Seattle at home the first game. They lose 3-1. Now you're here against DePaul. You're looking to keep in the top 25, currently at 22. And it's really just been a statement of what DePaul has been able to do with them.
Who's possessing around the box? Ramadan trying to kick it forward. However, intercepted. Lost near side with Moore trying to possess that freshman. Williams working back to Ramsey.
Notre Dame really trying to work the middle of the field instead of being crushed to the sideline as it's been the entire match so far.
Burns working it downfield. Rue there trying to work on it. However, Herbeck's there and kicks it out of bounds, setting up for Notre Dame throw-in. Looking for an opportunity and a long throw to get it into the box. Mayer is there. He'll run in and throw. Burns is there for another opportunity. Williams, the grab transfer, sneaks it by.
Ooh.
Oh my!
Wow, so close yet again. That's 3 times right now that Notre Dame has come close to scoring a goal on Gandhi Cruz, who has yet to allow one this season. You're going to see this right here. Everyone's in the box. Mo Williams goes, and he's so close yet again. Just off by a few inches.
Another throw into the box. Ramadan. Big boot. High and above the crossbar for a goal kick for Cruz. And right now for Cruz, it's not just skill, but it's a little bit of luck on his side. See, with Burns, had the opportunity, but here.
Look at this. Oh, and he doesn't even get he might have got his right index finger on the ball. So close for Mo Williams, but Gandhi Cruz keeps his streak alive.
Say Mayer impeded on the DePaul player. Now, shots on goal. Paul's only got 2, and they made one of them count. Notre Dame picked up 4, but has had their opportunities. Bringing down far side, Ramsey there. Loose ball, Dowd was out in front of it, but scoots by. Moore, the freshman, looking for goal number 2 in his career. Couldn't get a foot on it.
That was a dangerous play right there. Brian Dowd to come out of the goal to try to block it. If the ball does not roll the way it does, or bounce, the way it does, Sam Moore has a 2nd goal on the season.
KK before on the far sideline, heading it to himself, challenging against Brickman. Brickman putting up a wall and defending, and clear it away. Burns back to the near side. Ramsey switching. Far side, KK before, we're going to work down. Crossing it, trying to look for Rue. Herbeck kicking it up into the air, cleared away by Brickman. Down the line, Mo Williams will possess it. Coach Plotkin calling for his midfielders to push up.
Notre Dame trying to get something going right here, working the middle of the field.
Rue there, working in the box, shot wide again. Matthew Rue, the sophomore from Germantown, Wisconsin. Once again, mere inches away from the net.
Notre Dame is knocking on the door right now with 15 minutes remaining in this match. They've come close already. That's about 4 times where we could have seen a goal roll Notre Dame's way, but it's a game of inches sometimes.
Mayer heading. Working down, Notre Dame looking for the foul call, and they will get it. They'll stop the clock. It appears another yellow card will be assessed. Now Notre Dame will get free kick opportunity.
And they get Michael Anderson, number 25, on DePaul, tripping Rue. And that is going to be a yellow card. That's already 2 yellow cards for DePaul. Will it change the course of the game? We'll see.
Rue will be back to take the kick. DePaul will set up a wall. Looking, they'll go on direct. Referee giving them instructions about what their arms can and can't do. Whistled back in, clock will run. Little chip shot, looking down, headed away. Blue Demons clear. Ramsey there, though, to try and push it forward. Staying on the gas with Bonneau working it. Cleared it away again. Ramsey heading it out of bounds. Blue Demons will now switch fields and go on the offensive.
Smart choice right there by Ramsey to headbutt the ball out of bounds. Lets his team get over to the side. He was one-on-one with another DePaul player. He's been out there almost the entirety of the match so far. Good way to get some reinforcements back on your side of the field.
Notre Dame out of bounds. Will stay DePaul's way.
Right now, Notre Dame currently risking their perfect 13-0-0 record against DePaul at home games with 13 minutes remaining in the match.
13 minutes remaining. Light throw in from the Blue Demons. Allows Notre Dame to go back on the offensive and try and push downfield. They're trying to tie it back up at 1. They're down to their foes from Chicago. Burns near side. Hits him with the scissor kick and sends it back. Notre Dame will add a little bit of tempo. Kicking it down to KK Before. Before will look to cross. Moving in, switching it around, pushing it away. Burns there. Mayer losing it. Bonneau back. Stepping up will be Williams. Gennenbacher looking to cross. Gets it in. Brickman kicking it away. Bouncing it away, Mo Williams there, challenging. Out of play. Will go DePaul's way.
Nice work by DePaul again. They are not letting anything up whatsoever, not intimidated by Notre Dame trying to put their foot on the gas. It's been fantastic work so far by the Blue Demons, and really it's shown what this team has been all about all season.
Well, Blue Demons talking to Coach Plotkin said they felt like they were an NCAA caliber team. They wanted to get there, and the way to get there is getting quality wins. You got a quality tie against the number 25 ranked team in the country in Bowling Green, and now if you could pick up a win against number 22 ranked Notre Dame, who went to the College Cup last year, that would be a huge statement win for this DePaul team, who really has shown out and has not had a loss so far. They tied that one game, and the other 2 games against Bucknell and Oakland they have won. Side. Rue going on the offensive. Switching fields. Looking for Green. Burns heading it back to Mayer. Moore kicking out of bounds. Mayer will throw it down the line. He'll have an opportunity with Sebastian Green. Sebastian Green has an entire cornfield in front of him, tries to turn it. Hauer kicked it away. Was Herbeck. Now KK Before will go back for another corner kick, Sam.
And KK Before has been on the corner a lot for the Irish tonight. Notre Dame currently on their 6th corner kick of the match. Have not been able to accomplish anything at all so far.
KK Before sending it in. Headed away. Notre Dame still possessing. Gennenbacher clears it back to Ramsey. Ramsey will send it in. Far side. KK Before keeping it in. Switching fields. Mayer there. Off the left side post.
That time, Gandhi Cruz read that ball perfectly. So even if they were able to get it in a little bit towards the goal, Gandhi Cruz was there.
Gandhi Cruz, a sophomore, showing senior-like experience in goal here today. It just shows you how much work can be put into the offseason, how much better you can get. At this time last year, he'd already let up 3 goals. So far, he hasn't let up anything. Credit to our producer for finding that one out and just really looking back. And he just put in that work in the lab, like you say, Sam, to allow himself to get better, to be in this position.
Yeah, and he was someone, too, who walked on to DePaul originally as a freshman and only continued to get better. His story is absolutely incredible. When you really sit down and listen to it, head coach Mark Plotkin explained to us that when he got there, he was supposed to be the 3rd guy on the team. However, you get someone to transfer out, then you get into the competition with the last guy, and he was able to pull away, and so far it is looking like they have made the best decision for their goalkeeper going forward.
That's one of those, talking to Coach Plotkin, like, Coach, you made the right decision. He's like, I know. That one pushed out of bounds. Brian down with a goal kick. Mark Plotkin there knows a little bit about Chad Riley. His brother was on his staff before going over to Army, and both of them know each other, and both of them speak highly of each other. They were able to talk pre-game. You saw them when we entered the stadium. They were having a nice full-on conversation, knowing both of them, both of their coaching styles. It's KK before, kicking it up in front. Rue, opportunity, goal! Notre Dame and Matthew Rowe toss an exclamation mark on that one after a missed opportunity. They tie it up at 1.
Fantastic work, and we said this, that Matthew Rue was knocking on the door all season, and he is able to get this done. A nice assist by KK before, boot right into the goal, scores on Gandhi Cruz for his first let-up goal of the season. Beautiful footwork right there, and is able to cut it perfectly into the back of the net and tie this match.
Matthew Rue picking up his first goal of the 2022 season, and it's a big one, tying it up with the Blue Demons late in this one. In the 82nd minute, he's able to sneak it by Cruz, and Cruz lets up his first goal of the 2022 season. It's Coach Plotkin having a discussion with the referee. And there's going to be a yellow card assessed to the bench, it appears.
Before Matthew Rue scored that goal, a DePaul player went down, and I believe they're trying to get a little bit more clarification for what happened right there. Coach Plotkin trying to understand what exactly went wrong, why a call wasn't issued.
Audibly angry, it appears there. But now, Blue Demons and Notre Dame tied at 1 apiece with under 8 minutes to play in this one. The Ramadan kicking it up to Pluth. Working it around. Gonda there. And kicked out of bounds down there.
And the tempo is there for both teams now. That goal by Matthew Rue has really changed the momentum of this game. With 7 minutes remaining now in this match before, if it stays tied, you go to overtime. However, the whole tempo is there. Notre Dame is starting to fly up the field and really trying to put this pressure on Gandhi Cruz.
Sides, Notre Dame looking for it. Working back, switching sides. Over to Green, blocked it away. Corner kick for Notre Dame. That's what Chad Riley said to us yesterday. Put opportunities and get chances. One's bound to go in and keep putting pressure. And by the pressure, it's been corner kicks. Notre Dame's got 8 compared to DePaul's 1. And KK before will send it in far side. Mo Williams there trying. And Oento trying to work it around. Off the flagpole will stay Notre Dame's way.
Looks like it did a double doink right there. It hit the flagpole and then hit the other flagpole. Nice double doink right there.
Kyle Genenbacher. Rue there looking for goal 2, trying to switch it around. Ramsey booting it, changing fields. Mayer ahead. Goal kick. It appears Notre Dame was offsides there. Cruz will get a free kick opportunity.
Mitch Ferguson, the freshman, called for the offsides. Tried to headbutt it back into bounds, just got a little too far in front of it.
Continuing the work, shot goes wide. Merrick Gonda, the focal point of the DePaul offense, sends one that goes scorching by. KK before battling. I'll go DePaul's way after the hand fighting. It's called by the referee.
Before that whistle was blown, you could just see the former track star KK before flying up that field to get to that ball and almost got there.
Huth, opportunity. Shot that goes wide. Huth, who has DePaul's goal, scored back in the 78th minute. Looking for another one there.
You're going to see right here, Huth goes, and it's just far right a little bit. Almost had it. Earlier, we saw Notre Dame knocking on the door when they were getting close, and now, in the last few minutes of this match, DePaul has been knocking on the door.
Now under 4 minutes to play left in this one. Ramsey, near side. Burns, looking down. Rue is there. Gonna try and turn on it. KK before there, pushed out in front. Enoento was there, but DePaul clears. They'll stop the clock. It's gonna be a free kick opportunity for Notre Dame at 3 minutes here. It's become a thriller. Ramsey, light kick. Pushing downfield. KK before is there. Bicycle kick around. And they'll say it was offsides.
Nice athleticism by KK before, who was running out of bounds and was able to high kick, bicycle kick it, as you may refer to it, right back into the field of play.
Cruz will take his time, get some water. As the clock continues to wind down here. They now stopped with the DePaul player down far side of the field. Referee will come on over to check on him. So we'll have Jake Feuderer come off with the help of athletic training staff, and Cruz back to kick it with 2:24. Rue switching fields. Enoento trying to make some magic in less than 3 minutes. Enoento switching, works it in, kicked it away. Notre Dame has got another corner kick, now 9 tonight. KK before, who else? Back to take it. Now under 2 minutes. Sending it across, far over the crossbar.
Notre Dame has not been able to capitalize tonight so far on the corner kick. 9 corner kicks already, and they just came close yet again, but Notre Dame needs to maximize on these opportunities.
With 90 seconds to play, Cruz will launch it downfield. DePaul trying to regain possession. That one gets by Brickman. Cruz will scoop it up.
Almost a collision right there by Brickman and Gandhi Cruz. Luckily, no one got hurt.
The new NCAA rules, this game does not go to overtime. If it was to end in a tie after 1 minute, it will end in a tie. Switching fields. Notre Dame pushing it down. KK before, working. As time will be stopped with Matthew Brickman down. And book is out from the referee. A little bit of cramping. KK before will be assessed a yellow card. And now the referee will now come over to talk with the second official about what's going on with 48 seconds left in this one. So come over to Mark Plotkin to give an explanation. As a red card will be assessed. And now we're still trying to sort everything out, as it will be a red card to the assistant coach. And it appears he'll be escorted back to the locker rooms. Can no longer stay on the bench. With only 48 seconds left, referee and crew waiting to get this one back underway as Tyler Keever will walk back, assistant coach for this team.
And this red card was issued because earlier in the match we saw that a card was issued over to the bench of DePaul. You get your second yellow card, that's red, you're out.
Yeah, Tyler Keever, the associate head coach, part of Plotkin's staff since day one, will get brought to the locker room, and 48 seconds left. A little more drama here in the second half than what we saw in the first. Our both teams tied at 1. Headed away. And Owento. Far side to Genenbacher. Genenbacher with 30 seconds to play. Working it around, pushing it up in front. Genenbacher trying to work it through. Live ball still. Cleared, headed by Notre Dame. 20 seconds now. Williams clearing. KK before. To Owento, far side. 8 seconds now. Rue possessing, cleared away. Now in the final seconds, one final shot. However, this one will end in a tie at 1 goal apiece. Sam, what'd you see in this one?
I think at first we didn't see a lot in the first half. However, this second half we really saw the tempo start to pick up on both sides. DePaul playing fantastic defense. Notre Dame trying to put their foot on the gas a little bit more in the second half after not